I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I fear no evil because I'm blind to it all. In my mind.
What is up, fam? What is up, family? So, hope everyone's good. Hope everyone's enjoying their Friday. And, it is definitely hot outside, so y'all stay hydrated and stay cool. Alrighty, well, if you're new here, my name is Jay. I am a combat veteran. I have PTSD. I am service connected to the VA. Thank you for stopping by my channel. Please join the family. Please, they are very supportive, very a very fast-growing community that's very supportive. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry about that. So, go and subscribe. Go and hit that like button. Hit that post notification bell. Share the content. Comment down below. Especially if you have anything you want me to react to. It doesn't have to be mental health related or military related like I originally was doing, but it can also, I'll react to anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and like this and subscribe. So I've been this thing got requested when I first started my channel, and I never did it, and it got requested again recently, like within the last couple days. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock this one out and get it done. It's Redgum. I was only 19, and a walk in the light green. So obviously this is going to be about military. So I can kind of relate. I was 17 when I joined. I didn't actually go do my basic training and everything until I was 18, but I can definitely relate. I was 22, I think, on my first deployment, and then like 27 on my second, 26, 27. So all right, well, I will put the link to the original video in the description below. I will also put social media info for me, and I have not been prepared. I did not connect my earbuds yet. Let's hope they don't connect to my phone. Okay, we're good. We are good. Alright, y'all ready? Because I'm ready. Should have already been ready. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, but I apparently wasn't ready. So here we go.
Mum and Dad and Denny saw the passing out parade at Puckapunyal. It was a long march from cadets. The 6th Battalion was the next to turn. It was me who drew the card. We did Canungra, Shoalwater before we left. And Townsville lined the footpaths as we marched down to the quay. This clipping from the paper shows us young and strong and clean. And there's me in me slouch hat with me SLR and greens. God help me, I was only 19.
Yeah, it's definitely, when I remember we was in Kuwait for a few months before we ever went into Iraq, and we drove in, the first deployment, we drove in from Kuwait to Iraq in convoys we called serials, and you would pass areas that were torn up from the former Gulf War that happened, and areas that never got repaired. And it was kind of intimidating being that young and never seeing anything like that. And then we rolled into Baghdad, and it was dark as hell outside. They didn't have as much lighting going on. Most of the people were like, they were watching us, but they were being very like they really wouldn't come out of their house. Some of them came out of their houses but you only seen a few people here and there. It was very creepy. And then we got to our little FOB. We set up, and none of us knew what to think. I remember we were all just sitting there like talking about what we thought we might see or what we thought might go on, and it's just a very eerie feeling, because you understand how real the threat is, especially when they're giving you a magazine of live ammo to keep on you at all times, and you already have to keep your weapon on you at all times. And it brings things into perspective where like, okay, this is real. This is really happening, and I have to be my absolute best in order to. So you have to overcome the anxiety, you have to overcome the fear, you have to overcome. But then you turn to look at your brothers in arms and your comrades, and you're like, all I want to do is make sure they make it home fine, make sure they're okay. And because at this point that's became your brothers. You've trained together, you've done everything together, you've gotten in trouble together, you've excelled together, and it's like, that person is going to be the one watching your back, and you just hope that their training has been, that they've understood everything, and that they've done well, and but yeah, it's totally a mind job when you get there at that age, and you understand the severity of it, and you understand, but you've never had anything like that severe, that responsible for so much at one time at such a young age. Like, it's wild. But anyway, we'll get back into this. Sorry, I've been rambling.
This clipping from the paper shows us a young and strong and clean. And there's me in me slouch hat with me SLR and greens. God help me, I was only 19. From Bungtow riding Chinooks to the dust at Newey Dad, I'd been in and out of choppers now for months.
Chinook.
We made our tents a home, VB and pin-ups on the lockers, and an Asian orange sunset through the scrub. And can you tell me, doctor, why I still can't get to sleep? And night time's just a jungle dark and a barking M16. And what's this rash that comes and goes? Can you tell me what it means? God help me, I was only 19.
Yo. So, some of the most interesting people I've ever talked to in my life have been Vietnam veterans. And sometimes, I had a friend, he's actually a friend of the family. He's more my mother's age, but he was a Vietnam vet, and he's somebody that I respected my entire life. He's always been somebody who does everything himself. When he needs something done, he goes and does it. He don't hire people. And he's always been very good at everything he did. And I used to very much respect, I still respect him, but growing up, I always knew that he was probably military or he was a veteran or whatever, but he didn't really talk about it much. Well, after I got back from my second deployment, me and him were finally on a trip alone one time, and the subject came up, and we finally, and some of the things that he talked about were very, very, very interesting to me, but at the same time, I understand why he didn't want to talk about it a lot. And when I go to the VA and I talk to Vietnam vets, some of the things that they've seen and some of the things that they've had to do is like, and to know that it was all started because of the Gulf of Tonkin incident, which was now proven to be a false flag. It's so wild, and it's so unfortunate that we live in a country that understands that there's money in war and that there's business in war, and that they still do, but they pushed for war so much and sacrificed young American lives to do it. And you don't understand that at that age. You don't understand the politics behind it. You're just there following orders, being your best, and watching your comrades back. Like, that's what you're there for. You only know what the orders that's passed down to you. You're not worried about the politics. In fact, you can't even hardly keep up with the politics over there because there's not much info about what's going on back home. So anyway, here we go.
That comes and goes, can you tell me what it means? God help me. I was only 19. A 4-week operation, when each step could mean your last one on 2 legs. It was a war within yourself, but you wouldn't let your mates down till they had you dusted off. So you closed your eyes and thought about something else. And then someone yelled out, "Contact!" and the bloke behind me swore. We hooked in there for hours, then it got almighty raw. And Frankie kicked a mine the day that mankind kicked the moon. God help me.
Ooh.
He was going home in June.
Yo. I want to hear that part again.
And the bloke behind me swore. We hooked in there for hours, then it got almighty raw. And Frankie kicked a mine the day that mankind kicked the moon. God help me. He was going home in June.
Rest in peace, Frankie.
Frankie drinking tinnies in the Grand Hotel on a 36-hour rec leave in Funtown.
Yo.
And I can still hear Frankie lying screaming in the jungle till the morphine came and killed the bloody row. And the Anzac legends didn't mention mud and blood and tears. And the stories that my father told me never seemed quite real. I caught some pieces in my back that I didn't even feel. God help me. I was only 19.
Woo!
And can you tell me, doctor, why I still can't get to sleep? And why the Channel 7 chopper chills me to my feet? And what's this rash that comes and goes? Can you tell me what it means? God help me. I was only 19.
Yo. So I've known some people who died from exposure to Agent Orange, and like within the last decade they died. So and another unfortunate thing about the Vietnam was that was the shift of when more people started despising soldiers, and them guys were not welcome when they got back home. They were spit on, they were called names, they were, and it was much different from the reaction from the soldiers of World War II, which understandable. World War II, we were attacked. We were already kind of in the war, but whew, yeah, that goes along with a lot of the things that I was told as well about Vietnam, and some things I don't want to explain on here, but like the sleep thing is, when we were over there, you got sleep when you could get. I mean, you had nights when you're supposed to sleep, but sometimes you can't, or sometimes you don't have time to. You go to sleep, and then something happens, and you get woken up and called, to go react, QRF, whatever. So it's you sleep when you can sleep. Some days you may only get, when you're in combat, some days you might only get 4 hours of sleep, 3 hours of sleep. Some days you might not sleep at all. There were days where I was up for a day and a half, 2 days, because you're having to pull security, and you can't, you're in a situation that got extended out longer than it was supposed to, and you can't leave it unsecured. So, but that's where the discipline and all that comes in. So, but anyway, I got more coming up, so you guys stay tuned, and peace and love. Thank you for this one. I'll put the shout out. Matter of fact, I can look it up right now on who gave me this last time. Give me a second here, and I will say their name in the video, and I will put it in the description as well. I say I will. I say I'll shout it out here. Okay. I'll put it in the description below. I'm not finding it right this second in my screenshots. I know I have it. So, but I will put it in the description below. All right. I will see you guys shortly. Peace and love.